Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So, as you guys know, um, Jeremiah Payne and his wife Samantha Payne were arrested during their live stream last night, leaving their 4 or 5. I think she's 5 now. Their 5-year-old daughter with, I guess, Samantha's mother. But earlier in the day, I'm not sure if he was joking or what. You don't joke about something like this, but he was offering to sell his daughter for $500 on his live stream earlier yesterday. That's disgusting. I honestly, that little girl shouldn't even be with them anyways, because they're poor excuses for parents. They're putting that child's life in danger day after day after day, because they would rather buy whatever they want for themselves and drugs rather than get jobs and put their daughter in a stable home, in a stable environment, and get her in school and do everything that you should be doing as a parent. They're choosing drugs over that. They're grifting for money to even stay in a hotel. Other than that, they're sleeping on the street or in a car. That's no place for a child to live. That's no way for a child to live. So they get arrested on live stream last night, and here comes Captain Save-A-Ho, Chille, already jumping on a live stream, an emergency live stream, grifting and frauding for money to bail them out. Now, when somebody's being actively arrested in a live stream, why are you trying to collect money for bail when you don't even know, one, if they're going to get a bail or a bond, and two, how much it cost already? Just because they said her warrant was a $750 bond does not mean that it is literally going to stay that way once she's arrested. They were both fugitives. They both got arrested. That bond can be revoked at any moment, because when they got arrested, they went through pretrial soon after being booked in. During pretrial, that $750 bond can be revoked, which sounds like it did, because she is now being held without bond as well. Both of them are being held without bond. Both of them have to stay in jail until their court date, which is May 22nd, 2023. So why would you sit there and fundraise and grift for money on a bond that technically wasn't even set in stone yet? Just because the warrant said it doesn't mean it's set in stone. It's set in stone once you're arrested, you're booked, and then you go through pretrial. If pretrial feels like you should still be let out on that $750 bond, they will go ahead and approve it, and you're good to go. Chille is now live streaming at this moment, gloating and bragging about raising all this money for Samantha's bond. First of all, he raised well more than $750. Okay. Also, during his live stream, while on the phone with Colin, whatever his name is, admits, like right out admits, hey, we're going to figure this out. We're going to take all the totals of everything, and then we're going to just chop it in half and send them half. That's not how a fundraiser works, Chille. You don't fundraise for people and then keep half for yourself. That money was supposed to go directly to them only, which still, I wouldn't have bonded them out. They're horrible people. Bonding them out is only making that child's life worse. Plain and simple. That child belongs to be in a home where it's stable and it's healthy for that little girl. And living with those two, that's not a stable, healthy environment. Besides that, let's just push that aside. We all know this is true. Everybody knows this is true with those two. Chille will take any opportunity to take money from his subscribers. He will literally take any opportunity. It doesn't matter what it is. We all knew he was hard up for money. He had just been arrested. And he probably couldn't figure out another grift. But this one just fell right in his lap last night. He sees this, and all of a sudden he's running around trying to get all this money donated, but takes half of it, which means they made a hell of a lot more than $750 last night. Because if he was able to cash out $750 to Samantha's mother for Samantha's now non-existent bond, they made way more than $750. And Chille kept half of that. It's disgusting. He's a disgusting human being. And he can sit there and he can show all this stuff saying, that's not true. Look at this, look at that. We all know that he edits everything. He fixes everything. We know for a fact that he fakes phone calls. He fakes email threats. We've seen him even edit out Cash App and stuff when he was at the airport in Colombia. I mean, he is a fraud. He is a con man. And the people that keep giving him money are idiots because they don't see this. Now he's bragging about getting all this money. And then today, Cash Apps the money to Samantha's mom after it's already been said and done that neither parent have a bond. Let me show you. This is Jeremiah Wayne Payne. Oh my God. This is Jeremiah Payne's from last night. Okay. At midday, he was arrested 3/18/2023 and he was booked in at 3:16 a.m. Charge is fugitive from justice. The offense date, March 17th. Bond, $0. Bond type, no bond. We already knew he wasn't going to have a bond. But supposedly, the warrant for Samantha said there was a $750 bond. However, after going through pretrial, bond, $0. Bond type, no bond. Court date, 5/22, May 22nd, 2023, which means both of them will be sitting their little butts right there in jail until their court date. So why did Chille send that money to Samantha? Why didn't he just refund all of the donations to everybody that sent the donation? I will tell you why. Because Chille wanted that money for himself, which is typical of Chille when he does a fundraiser. I mean, let's just call it what it is. When he needs money, he does these stupid fundraisers and he takes half of it. That's not how you do a fundraiser. That's not how you help people. He claims he's this big savior of everybody and that they have gotten all this money, tens of thousands of dollars they've raised for other people, but technically that went into his pocket. So basically, he raised tens of thousands of dollars for himself. And his subscribers are too stupid to see it.
Helping Mary Payne, a 68-year-old who's battling cancer on disability, who has no money, who can't move around a bunch of stuff in a hotel room very quickly. My mother's in her 70s and she can't function, making the bed, doing things that someone who's active and physical can do regularly. No problem. Making a king-size bed, no problem. When you're 68 and you're battling cancer, the mobility to get from each corner of the king-size bed is difficult. The mobility to pick things up and put the tape on the box and tear the tape and then lay the box out and then start to put stuff in the box, that's hard for someone who's 68, battling cancer, on disability, who has lung cancer. It's hard. We need a physical, able-bodied person in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s to go over and help them. That's just what we need. And I'm not trying to save the world here. I'm just trying to transition this little girl if you have not been through the state system, if you haven't faced a state system before, then you don't understand what it's like to go through a state system. And it's not fun. So to me, I don't want her to fall between the cracks where grandma gets red flagged with DFYS because she's incapable, and Samantha and Jeremiah are in jail, and the little girl falls into the system. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm taking these steps right now. That's my motivation. And that's why I'm sick about not having to be able to allocate those funds. That's why I'm sick. So I'm better now, though. I'm better now. But there's ways to check it. So we'll just check it. And then we'll cut it in half and I'll just send it over. Oh. No, I know of 450 at least.
There is parts of the video of Chille's live stream that literally just ended a few minutes ago, and a part of it from last night, when he was talking to Colin on the phone, Colin, whatever his name is, about the ending of Chille's live stream, where he's going on and on about trying to save this little girl and not wanting her going to CPS and blah, blah, blah. You know what? That is no one else's problem, okay? Because these parents chose drugs over getting jobs and getting that child a home and putting her in a stable environment. The best place for her, yes, is in the system. I've known people in the system. Yes, there are some bad foster families or whatever. Absolutely. But there's more good people out there helping than there are bad. Just like there's more good cops than there are bad cops. Just like there's more good people than bad people. These parents chose not to put their lives in order when they had this child. These parents chose to stay homeless. They chose to raise this little girl on the street or in a car or in a hotel where they e-beg just to be able to pay that hotel room. The parents are in the wrong. They chose to break the law. They chose to have warrants, and they chose to go to jail when they chose to break the law. I absolutely believe none of this is the little girl's fault. Nobody is saying that. But we heard Samantha clearly state on her live stream to the police officers, my mother's going to let her stay with her, but I don't want her near my father because he's a pedophile. So now we've got a 5-year-old little girl who is living with these piece of shit parents of hers, who literally offered to sell her for $500 on their live stream yesterday, going to a home under the roof of a pedophile. CPS would be the safest option for this little girl before something even worse happens to her. Chille can sit there and fake his fucking tears all he wants, pretend like he really gives a shit about this 5-year-old little girl, because we know he doesn't. We know the only reason he did this was because he wanted that money. And guess what? He got the money because there was no reason to even do the fundraiser. They had no clue if the bond was even going to stick. Because like I said in the beginning, just because the warrant says there's a bond doesn't mean once you go to pretrial, after you've been booked in, that bond's going to sit there. Which, as we see, the bond was revoked. So neither one of them are being released from jail now. But Chille got what he wanted. That's why he feels better now, because of all these people. He goes from crying about this little girl. Ooh, I care so much about this little girl. But I feel so much better because of all of you wonderful people. Do you see where he changed that up? Those forced ass fucking tears all the way to happiness. Because these stupid people who are subscribers of him just handed him a nice fat payday. It pisses me off all around. Everybody involved in this has used this little girl for money. The parents use her for money. Now Chille has used her for money. This is disgusting. YouTube should not be used for this kind of platform.